I said, I do like it. And I'm continuing to test it out, button it up, and she said, you don't like it. I said, I do like it. And then I continued to look at it, start to take it off. She said, you don't like it. I said, Sarah, why are you saying that I don't like this jean jacket? Because she said, in my family, when we like something, we go, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I said, in my family, we say thank you. But at a certain point, my spirit deflated. And I wasn't totally in tune with it at that time, but I've since come to the realization of what was going on. I mean, I just kind of withdrew and just sank, deflated. And I began to analyze that this kind of thing goes on with many couples. It perhaps goes on with you. Perhaps you've had that experience this week, this month. You just sense the issue isn't the issue. The issue's real. The contact lens is real. The jean jacket is real, but it's not the root issue any longer. This series is going to answer the question, what is that issue when the issue isn't the issue?
We got married really young. I was 21, he was 22. So there's some immaturity when you first get married, and there were just a lot of areas where we were missing each other.
So we found ourselves constantly arguing, and a lot of it had to do with, we've got 4 kids. We would talk over one another. We weren't out to understand the other one's perspective. We were just out to be heard.
For example, there was one time years ago, I was talking to Jason and felt like we'd had some tension happening in our marriage, and it had come to a point where we were going to have this big conversation. And I had kind of gotten up the courage to reveal a whole lot of stuff to him that was pretty deep and personal, so I was being really vulnerable.
She was very emotional in this moment. She was pouring her heart out. And the one thing I didn't want to do was be emotional in return, and somehow now this is about me.
I was trying to be respectful by allowing him to kind of take the reins and respond.
I wanted her to have the ability to just say what she needed to say and not be a catalyst to make it any worse. So I just didn't say anything and thought it was great.
He doesn't say anything, and he doesn't say anything. So I just like get up and go get ready for bed, and that's the end of it. And I was so hurt. A few days have gone by now. He came home for lunch from work and was like, hey, I just wanted to talk to you. And I'm like, okay, here it comes. We're gonna talk about this. And he says, I just think that was so mature of us that you could say what you needed to say, and I was able to listen. Like, he thought we had done this, like made this huge leap in our marriage, and I thought like our marriage was ending because we were on such different pages. He allowed me to then share with him why that made me feel hurt and unloved. He listened to me, and he hugged me, and that helped me feel that reassurance that, in fact, our marriage was not ending.
The goal wasn't supposed to be me not saying anything so we win. It was supposed to be me hearing what she's saying so that I understand what's going on and understand that hurt and that pain so that we can deal with that and I can help her. We've progressed in life to learning better ways to avoid the crazy cycle, or better ways to jump out of it when it's happened. Sometimes I have to ask her what it is she needs so that I can give her love well.
Years back, I made a discovery in the Bible that just kind of blew me away. I had the privilege of studying the Bible 30 hours a week for nearly 20 years as a pastor of a church in East Lansing, Michigan. And I was meditating in Ephesians 5, in fact, actually on verse 33, which is the summary statement to the greatest treatise in the New Testament on marriage. Most would say Ephesians 5 is that classic passage on husband-wife relationships, and verse 33 is the summary. It is as though this is God's last word to the church on marriage. You know, if my dad was dying, he was on his deathbed, and he said, Emerson, come close, come close. You know that the last words of a dying individual are the most important. It's going to come deep from his soul, and he intends for it to go deep into my soul. Well, in a sense, Abba Father has given us his last words to the church on marriage. He's not dying, but in effect, he's saying, come close, church, come close, listen to me. And if you listen to me, everything's going to be okay in your marriage. Everything is going to be okay. Well, what are those last words? Here it is. A husband must love his wife, and a wife must respect her husband. As I was meditating on husbands must love, agape love, this is the Greek word there, and the wives are to respect, I thought to myself, what happens when a wife feels unloved? I'll bet she reacts in ways that feel disrespectful to her husband. What happens when a husband feels disrespected? I'll bet he reacts in ways that feel unloving to her. And suddenly I thought, whoa, without love, she reacts without respect he reacts without love, she reacts without respect, and this baby starts to spin. And I called it the crazy cycle. And over the last 15 years, I've shared just that information with people, and I don't know how many people have said, in 2 minutes, you've described 30 years of my marriage. And this is exactly what happens. When the spirit of an individual deflates, most often the wife is feeling unloved, and most often the husband is feeling disrespected. Now, I need to interject here. The true need for love and respect is equal. He needs L-O-V-E. She needs R-E-S-P-E-C-T. We're not debating the true need. But what we are talking about is the difference between men and women during conflict with regard to a felt need. The felt need is different. We've asked 7,000 people this question. When you're in a conflict with your spouse, do you feel unloved at that moment or disrespected? Get this, 83% of the men, 83% said they feel disrespected. 72% of the women say they feel unloved. That's as different as pink is from blue. The wife is not commanded in the New Testament to agape love her husband. Only the husband is commanded to agape love. That's that unconditional, God-like love. Women love, they just love to love at the level of intimacy. So he's not going to command them to do that. And most husbands during conflict know that the wife loves him. He doesn't lack that unless she has said, I don't love you. But he does think that she doesn't like him, that she doesn't respect him. And she'll even say, I love you, but I don't respect you. And even though a woman needs respect, if you show her disrespect week after week after week, she begins to say, how can you say you love me and treat me disrespectfully? So it begins to go that direction. Without love, she reacts without respect. Without respect, he reacts without love, and this baby spins. Have you had that experience? This is what I believe is the issue when the issue isn't the issue. Is this true? Hollywood certainly would say it. There isn't one movie that ends with the hero embracing the damsel and saying, I want to respect you the rest of my life. There's not one card in the card industry from a husband to wife that says, baby, I really respect you. This is a felt need that's different. So here's my question to you. Have you had a conflict recently when the issue didn't seem to be the issue and you saw the spirit of your spouse deflate? We believe you're getting on the crazy cycle because, right or wrong, she's feeling unloved and he's feeling disrespected. That's what's going on. How are you going to deal with that? As we continue the series, we're going to tell you how to deal with those moments.